Hello, sunshines. Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host, Heather, known as Bunnyfish on all the internet places. Today is Saturday, the 2nd of August, 2025. How are you? I'm okay. I am, I don't know, I'm in a weird place because like the last day of school always kind of puts me into weird headspace because I'm gonna miss my kiddos in my classroom and like worry about my kiddos a lot because the school that I teach in, a lot of our kiddos are under the poverty line, and like I don't know, there's a lot. I worry about my kids a lot. And now this is the second time that I'm having those feelings because I had one at the end of the regular school year. And then I had one at the end of, and now I'm having one at the end of summer school. So I'm feeling a kind of way. Also, hormones are involved, so it's fine. But it's the beginning of August. How exciting. 2 days ago was the last day of summer school, so I don't have summer school. I have about-ish a week and a half before I have to start back to school stuff. So this video is going to be very much about what I intend to do in August. Also, of course, what I've done in the past week, but every project that I pick up, I'm gonna explain what I have intended for it. I'm hoping to get a lot finished in the next week and a half, and then we'll see after that. But it's a pretty lofty goals list. I will start out by saying that I do have a secret project that you will have to watch the autumn Yarny YouTube hop, seasonal Yarny YouTube hop to see. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm actually casting it on today. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. It's going to be really hard not to tell you about it because I do want it finished in August. So there will be a secret project that I'm casting on. I'm so excited. But let's talk about, I finished something. I'm very excited. If you follow me on Instagram, I lied. But whatever, it's Instagram and it's not real life and it doesn't matter. I made a post about what I had intended to finish but didn't finish in July, and I did not include this sweater even though I finished it the first day of August. But whatever, it was so close to being finished, and Instagram is pretend. And it was so close. I'm not doing this for prizes. There is no knitting police. I finished it yesterday early in the morning. So, here is my daughter's sweater. So she hasn't tried it on yet. I just, let's see, the cuff might be a little damp. Not like wet, but like maybe just a little damp. Because we air dry all of our clothes. So I washed it in the washing machine. It's 100% acrylic. The yarn is Bernat Super Value in the colorway. Is it baby pink or is it soft pink? Baby pink. So, made her the sweater. It is the Flax by Tin Can Knits. So it has this beautiful garter stitch detail down the back. Did I just see an end? Oh no. So this is where I was last week. I had this sleeve to finish and the entire second sleeve to go. And I don't know why. I don't know why Sleeve Island hit me. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes sleeves are just like zoom, zoom, zoom. But this time, I don't know, maybe because I wasn't really decreasing like I did. I did do some decreases. I did not do the decreases for the arm per the pattern because my daughter wanted what is this called? Balloon sleeves. So it's going to look kind of like that, except her arm and wrist are smaller than mine. So it'll look even more balloony. So I didn't do that. I did the option. There's 2 neckband options. It's a free pattern. One where you just cast on the neckband and go, and one where you cast on the body of the sweater and then pick up the neckband. I cast on and went, but then I went back and did this crochet, just slip stitches across the entire back of the sweater to give that like structure and shape. I didn't do it on the front. I can go back and add it to the front if she decides that the front is too gappy and too loose. I also put short row shaping on the back of the neck area. So yeah, I'm feeling really good. I didn't do any shaping in the body because she wanted oversized. And I didn't follow the decrease suggestions for the arms of the sweater because she wanted a more balloon look. I did do 3 sets of decreases total on the arm. Just so that my brain wouldn't hate itself so much, because for some reason breaking it up into 3 sets of 20 and then 3 sets of 20 rounds and then 50-ish rounds was better than having to do 110 rounds on the arms. Ooh, fun fact. One sleeve is 2 rounds longer than the other. It happens. I was counting because I was like, I feel like I'm close to the end of the sleeve. Do I need to do 1 more or am I there? And then I had done 1 extra and I was like, nope, good enough. I'm leaving it. She's not going to notice. She's not going to care. I doubt anybody's ever going to count the garter ridges down the arm. So I'm excited. So now I can give it to her and get a finished object photo. Yay! But, one more thing. I was doing the second sleeve and I got to, where did I weave in my ends? I can't see it from that side. Oh, I took a picture. Never mind. I had like 10-ish rounds to go on the sleeve when I ran out of the second ball of yarn. So I only had like this much to go to finish the sleeve. I had bought a 3rd skein of yarn just in case. So I have this giant skein of yarn left. So what I would like to do with this in August is make my daughter a pair of leg warmers. She's never worn leg warmers before, but she's also going into high school, and in elementary and middle school they had uniforms that they had to wear, and now there are no uniforms, so she can wear whatever she wants, which is really, really cool. And she likes to wear dresses and skirts a lot. Like, she does have a few pair of pants that she wears, but really she likes skirts and dresses. So I'm thinking when it gets cooler, not even cold, she gets cold really easily. I'm thinking that leg warmers might be something she likes. And also my oldest kiddo wears a hat every day and a hoodie every day to school, so I feel like it can't hurt to make her a pair of leg warmers. And my oldest kiddo goes to that high school already. So I'm excited to make her some leg warmers. I'm probably going to hate it. I'm probably going to hate the process. But my thought is, I was given by a friend an acrylic blanket that someone else had made and it had never been used. Kind of because it was like their first try at crocheting. Also, my best friend doesn't like pink at all. But it's this hot pink color. And the other thing about the blanket, not that there's anything like super wrong with it, but it kind of does that like trapezoid thing that first crochet projects tend to do when you're like figuring out tension and making sure you're getting the right stitches and stuff. So the tension from the beginning of the blanket is vastly different from the tension from the end of the blanket. So I'm just going to rip it out. It hasn't been used by anybody. And so my thought is that I want to make basically just stockinette leg warmers for my daughter, but throw in pops of this pink color. And I've been going back and forth. Do I want to crochet them? Do I want to knit them? Because crocheting would be faster, but I think I want to knit them, which is why I have these 2 needles in here. I'm going to use the same size needles that I used for this because I like this fabric. I'm going to do a fold over hem with elastic in it for the top of the leg warmers to help them stay up. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I think this will be really, really good meeting knitting too, because that's what the first 2 weeks of back to school stuff is. It's professional development. So there's going to be meetings and stuff. So I think that'll be good for that. I have all of my stuff in front of me instead of on my shelf like I normally do. So I guess I'll just grab what's closest, which is my spinning. And I have done probably at least 5 days this week. I've done 15 minutes. So that's good because I want to keep up the momentum. I want to keep working on this. But I don't, I know once school starts, that momentum is going to stop. I do still want to try to do at least 15 minutes on the weekend, just so that it can keep moving forward. And I think having it on this shelf, because where you are now, so I have my chair and then my bed is right there. And so I put my laptop, which is on the floor next to us right now. I put my laptop basically where you are, but on top of the bed, and watch things on there. And so I sit in my chair and I put all of my projects out on my chair like they are now. And then I work through them. And as I finish my daily quota, I put them up there when I know I'm going to have a significant amount of crafting time. If that's not going to happen, then obviously I don't get all of my crafts out. But on a Saturday, that's what I like to do. So I would like to continue on Saturdays at least to spin on this. And, I would like to do several days this week and part of next week on it. Okay, but the fiber is Deviant Fibers, our Endless Numbered Days. It is 60% superwash merino, 30% bamboo, 10% nylon. And it's so pretty. I don't have an August intention other than spin a few times a week and then once a week. But look, I don't have a scale handy, but I think this is about half the braid. I feel like I'm around halfway. I don't know that for sure, but wouldn't it be cool if I finished the singles in 2025? I'm not making that an official goal. I'm not putting that on myself, but I think it would be cool if I could do that. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's so pretty. And I feel really good about getting back to spinning a little bit. Still not ready for my wheel though. And then this was sitting inside the basket with the wrap for my aunt. And this week, very exciting, I started the second skein of white. So it's very, very cool. I think I'm going to need 6 50-gram balls of white to go with my, I think it was 7.5 of this mohair. So where were we? This is where I was last time you saw it. Clearly I have not been keeping up with my goal of 1 ridge per day, but that's okay. It's fine. We'll get there. Well, I do want this finished by the end of the year. So I guess my goal for August is to finish this 50-gram ball. That's a lot of knitting on this. That's this much knitting. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best. Because if I don't do that, then it's just going to make it much, much harder to finish this by the end of the year, which is when I would like it to be finished. And then my next long-term WIP that I am just working on a little bit here and there is the cowl for my sister. So I think the last time you saw it was the beginning of July. So in the month of July, I did like that much, which is cool. It's like 2.5, 3 inches. It's fine. I don't need this done I do kind of have a plan for when I would like it to be done, but not for a long time and not in 2025. So if I finish it this year, cool. If I don't, also cool. I just want to keep adding to it every week. So, a couple rounds here and there. All right, let's get into sock WIPs. I have a lot of them. And, everything that's on my 9-inch circulars right now, I want finished in August, which is going to be super, super doable. So first up, what I've been working on as I've been chatting with you is this pair of Croy socks for my sister's boyfriend. Here's the first one. So I know you can't really see it because it's gray on gray, but I'm through the gusset. I'm working down the foot. It's just around and around and around for 8 million rounds to make these size 11 men's socks. Oh my gosh. This is unrelated to anything that I'm working on. One of my aunts, she's not on Facebook a lot, but she's on Facebook sometimes, and she just commented on my July wrap-up post that she wished she knew how to spin. She has spindles but doesn't know how to spin, and she wishes she knew how to knit and crochet, but she never learned how to do that, which is so weird because her mom taught me how to crochet. My grandma, her mom, taught me how to crochet, but she was like, oh, I wish we lived closer. She lives several states away. And then she was like, I have to buy men's socks because I have big old feet, and she wears a women's size 11. And she mentioned that she likes orange. So this is not an intent for August, but maybe September. But oh my gosh. I've been wondering what to do with this skein because it's so beautiful. But orange is not my color. And I thought maybe I'll make zipper laxagons out of it because I love zipper laxagons. And it would be fun, but I didn't know who I was going to give them to. So instead of zipper laxagons, I'm just going to do vanilla socks, and I think I'm going to do shorties just to see if she even likes hand knit socks. And I'm going to make them vanilla. That way, I can just know better what fits her foot. Like if I make her a pair of these vanilla socks and they're too long or too short, or the heel doesn't fit quite right, I'm going to make a heel flap and gusset. But yeah, I saw that, and I know it's not orange, it's pinky yellow orange, but I think she's going to like it. And I'm not super close with my family, except for one of my mom's sisters. I see her a few times a year, and we send each other reels and memes, mostly about bunnies, on Facebook. But this particular aunt, who is one of my dad's many sisters, she and I used to be pen pals when I was in middle school. So I do have a connection to her, and also she's a really crafty human. She paints beautifully. She sews really lovely things. So like, I don't know. She said that and I knew that this has been waiting for her. And so I'm so happy that a friend sent it to me because I think it's just going to be perfect. Before I make those socks, I am going to put it into scrappy blankets, and I'm probably going to do contrasting heels, like gray heels. And then maybe finish off the socks in gray, depending on like how far it gets me. I don't know if I'm going to do them two at a time or just in tandem. I don't know. But that's like a September plan. Not this month. Unless I get through all of this, which I don't think is going to happen because I always set my self goals that are too lofty. Ooh, I have something else that I wanted to tell you about. I'm sorry, Sock. I'll get back to you. I promise. Remember how I was talking about how blah, 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 my daughter might not be knitworthy enough for a sweater. And then I was like, my daughter is totally knitworthy enough for a sweater because she has the skirt that I made for her that then felted that she wore forever. It was probably like this long when I finished it for her. But okay, so the pink on the edges are mini skeins. And they're perfect and beautiful and not felted. But this yarn right here is Barocco something baby. It's what I'm using in my reading blanket, which I told you after I had made it, I wouldn't have used that yarn if I knew it felted like this. So my daughter's like, oh, we should donate it. And I'm like, I don't want to donate it. I want to pull this yarn out, this edge yarn. I want to pull it out and use it in scrappy blankets. So what I'm thinking might happen to the skirt, not necessarily in August, is maybe I'll like make a couple stuffed animals, monsters or something out of this top part, this felted part, like sew it together, put it in my prize box at school, take out the elastic and use that because the elastic is still good. And then frog out this down here because it was worked from the outside edge in, so I could probably cut the final round, unravel it, and then pull it out from there. It is held double, so I'll be, unraveling two balls at once, and I did kind of fade the yarns together a little bit, I think, but that's a future plan for this skirt because it's too short. Like my daughter feels comfortable with it around still, but last time she wore it, her little booty was hanging out with her shorts that are underneath. But I was like, I think we have to give it up. Anyway, back to the Croy socks. So, I have to just knit it around and around. It's not very exciting, but it is good reading knitting, good walking knitting. So I would like this finished before back to school. I would kind of like it finished this week. You're going to hear a lot of that. I also have the Fiber Nymph Dyework socks for my sister. So here's the first one. And the second one is at the heel. And once I get past the heel, all I have are gusset and foot, and that's just around and around and around. Again, good walking knitting, good reading knitting. I would like this done before back to school. I would like it done this week. I am about a third of the way through the heel, almost halfway, between a third and halfway through the heel flap. So yeah, I want to get the heel flap done today. The Croy socks are knit on a US size 2, 2.75 millimeter needle. No, they're knit on a US size 1, 2.25 millimeter needle. The Fiber Nymph Dyework socks are knit on a size 0, 2.0 millimeter needle. The next socks, which are mini skein socks, are knit on US 0, 2.0 millimeter needles. And these are knit with Haverland minis for most of it. And then this pinkish color in the middle is Knit Picks Stroll Dogwood Heather, which I have this much left on. And I am on the second sock about to start this portion right here. So the heel flap, the heel turn, and the gusset are all knit in the Dogwood Heather, plus a few rounds to get me to the length that I need before I start working the minis. So last week I had done the heel flap and heel turn, and I needed to do the gusset. So essentially I've knit a whole sock, or almost a whole sock in this pair. Okay, not quite a whole sock, but almost a whole sock. I'm ready to do the heel flap and heel turn, and these socks were the minis were randomly picked without looking from this little bag. And I put them right here. Can you see them? So this is what's left after knitting the sock, both socks. I'm going to put it in my nor'easterly a little bit, and then put whatever's left from working in my nor'easterly into my sister's cowl. So I also want this sock finished this week. So hopefully next week you're seeing 3 finished pairs of socks, because I just want them done. I don't know if that's reasonable. I feel like it is, because they're all vanilla. I mean, I do have to do a heel flap, a heel turn, 2 gussets, and 3 toes. But all 3 feet are vanilla. So I don't feel like that's like too ridiculous of an expectation for this coming week. And then my stretch goal, if I finish all 3 of those, I would also like to finish this sock, just the single, which is, this is an Advent skein from the Cozy Knitter. It's the 2023 colorway. I am almost through the color repeat. I think I have 4 more colors to go. But I'm on the heel flap. I'm putting in a black heel flap using Knit Picks Stroll in black. So once I get the heel flap in, this does not go to vanilla, but it does go to only having the pattern on the front half of the sock, and the back will be vanilla, just like this, which does make it go faster, because this pattern is self-striping sock, and it has every other round is a pattern round. So you have a pattern round and then a rest round. And it's the same pattern round. It's just a 2-round repeat. But it's a lot going on that pattern round. So yes, I would like to finish this sock this week. However, if I don't, that's okay. But definitely in August, this sock should be finished. I also have my 2 socks for my oldest kiddo. So here they are. On this sock, I did a whole stripe this week, and on this sock, I did a whole stripe plus 2 parts of stripes, so exceeding my goal. But my August goal is I'm going to put this one aside, and I would like to finish this sock this month. I think we figured out that I'm going to look it up. All right, I am on stripe 10. I need to work 4 more stripes, and then I put it onto a 9-inch circular and work 4 stripes on the 9-inch circular, and then do the foot. The stripes are 15 rounds a piece, so once I get it through So I have like 60-ish rounds to go before I switch it to a 9-inch circular. And then it's 60 rounds of leg, and then the foot, and then, or the heel flap. And then the foot is 5 stripes. So that's 15 times 5, 75 rounds for the foot. And then the toe. I feel like that's really doable. The foot is vanilla. The leg is 2x2 rib for the rest of the time going down, except where there's a couple decreases. So I feel like this is finishable in August, especially if I put the other one aside. It's more than a stripe a week, but it's a much smaller count once I get down to the 9-inch circular. And there are 2 decrease rounds in the 60 rounds that I'm going to be doing. I guess it's closer to 70. I'm in the 10th stripe. Yeah, I'm in the 10th stripe. So it's like 70 rounds before I switch. But I think I can do it. That'll put me in a really good place for finishing this pair of socks this year. I think it's totally doable. The yarn for that is Knit Picks Stroll is the black, and then the orange is Cattails yarn in the Gleeman's Cloak colorway. And then I do have a blanket to talk about because I have worked on it a bit this week and I'm excited about it. And then I'm going to put it away and you probably won't see it for a while. Although maybe you will. So I finished putting in the yarn for my pencil sock into this strip for the bias strip. I didn't work on this strip at all, but I dropped some stitches off it. I currently have 4 strips hanging out in this needle cozy together to work on because they all have different purposes. Actually, these 2 have the same purpose, kind of. They're just where any yarns go, but I was using this like from here up is just Knit Picks Stroll, but now I've worked in all of my Stroll colors. So it can go back to be using for any yarn. And then I put in the rest of Ribbon Candy because this is my self-striping strip. So here's Ribbon Candy, and then I have the first 2 colors of Sealed with a Kiss, so I'm going to finish that off today and then put this strip away. And then this, see, I say I'm going to put it away, but I don't know, because this strip is only Cozy Knitter Advent stripes. So when I finish that sock, the rest of the yarn is going into this strip. So I might pick this up later in August and work that in. But I might put this off until later this year and work on it then. There is a black, 1 single black garter ridge that is Knit Picks Stroll black, just to say this was one colorway, this is the other. I do not have all 24 stripes in here because the minis are basically 2 repeats of the 24 stripe pattern, but I've got a lot. I have 21 of one color. Is that right? I don't think so. I don't know, because there's this little jog right here. What happened there? I don't know. And then 15 of the other. So maybe I didn't put the black stripe in between the colorways. Maybe this is from something else. I don't know. But anyway, that'll get worked on once I finish that single sock, and that's really exciting. Is that everything that I intend to work on? Of course not. Of course not. I have other things. So once I have some things cast off, I have 2 projects that I want to start and finish. One is the other Advent sock. So this will be the next colorway, the 2024 colorway. which, is heavily patterned, so that one will take a while. And then I want to cast on this Fiber Nymph Dye Works. It's one of the pie colorways, and it's Fun Guy Pie. I'm gonna make this for my littlest kiddo. I think they're so cute, and they're so her colors, and I was just really, really drawn to this colorway, but not for me, because I don't like these colors for me, but I like them. This looks like lilies to me, and lilies are my favorite flower. So like it's got the orangey-ish lilies in there, pinky lilies with the yellow for the pollen, and just, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And I did get the coordinating mini. I'm going to try really, really hard not to lose it. I am going to stick it inside the yarn keeper like this. I'm going to stick it inside here when I have the skein. So yeah, it's going to be so pretty. And then let's talk about my books. Did I tell you I found The Monsters We Defy? I can't remember if it was missing last week or the week before. It must have been last week. So I found it. It was under my boyfriend's bed. I'm on page 242 out of, hold on, there's an interview at the back. It tricked me with how many pages there were going to be. Author's note. Okay. Out of 343. So 100 pages to go. This book should be finished within the week. For sure. So I want to finish that. I also have this nonfiction book, Grown Women Talk, that I started, and I'm only 12 pages in. It's not a bad book. I just only happen to be 12 pages in. I do want to finish it this month. I do want to read a lot of it before PD starts. Like, while I have mental space to be taking in nonfiction, I want to be reading this. And then I want to start and finish something light and fluffy, because The Monsters We Defy is not super light and fluffy, and Grown Women Talk is also not light and fluffy. School for Good and Evil, Book 2, A World Without Princes. So I really liked the first one. I liked the first one more than I expected to, and I think I read that one pretty quick. I think I read it in less than a week, even though it's, kind of chunky. It's 416 pages. It is a JFIC book, so it's meant for middle grade students. But, I feel like I deserve something light and fluffy, so I want to start and finish that book in August as well. And I feel like these goals are really reasonable. I don't feel like I set myself up for failure. I do also know, though, that things come up. So my intentions, if I don't meet them, it's fine. I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't finish all of the things that I thought I would. I'm just going to do my very, very best. Do you have plans for this month? Do you have knitting plans for this month? Did you have any for last month that you met or didn't meet? If you didn't meet them, that's okay. There's no knitting police. Even if you were making someone for somebody else, unless it was a contract, it doesn't matter. It's okay if it's late. It's okay if you didn't finish it. It's okay if you started something for somebody and then were like, never mind, I'm never going to make this. That's all okay. All right, friends. I'm so excited to see what I get done this week. I will have some cool things to show you in next podcast, and I can't wait to see you. Bye for now.